Welcome to Module 5. So in this video, we're going to be really getting into the nuts and bolts of Blockworks field parameters. And the field parameters are basically all the different types of settings and tools you can apply to fields that allow changes within a block. We'll also be touching on a few more fields and a few more rules. So we'll keep spreading out and exploring more and more of what you can do in a single block. And also we'll be looking at the permissions more specifically. We touched on roles and permissions in previous modules, but now we're going to really look at the permissions properly. And with all this knowledge, we're going to build a product returns management system. So on that basis, I'm going to create a new module in the new section that we had, and I'm just going to say product returns. So I'm going to lay out a few blocks that we'll be probably touching on in future videos, but I just want to lay them out now to give you a bigger picture of what we're kind of working at. So we'll say a product return system would handle product coming back in to a company, we'll say, and then we'll say for the purpose of this video, we're going to pretend it's TV units and entertainment units and other stuff like that that maybe people might return that are broken and need a guarantee, or maybe they just return it full stop. Um, and we're going to pretend this is a manufacturing company that handles this. So for that reason, we need to have things like receiving it in, visually testing it, functionally testing it, scrapping it, managing the shipments, and shipping it back out. So for that reason, I'm going to do the blocks first, even if we're not going to touch them in this video. So let's say receiving, visual inspection, functional testing, scrapping, shipping out. We might change these as we go along. The first thing I'll do is fix my typo. So I spelled receiving wrong. So as you can see in the block settings here, you can change the name of the block. So we're going to start diving into the block settings. The block settings are the main settings that apply generally to the whole block, as opposed to, we'll say, field parameters, which apply just to fields specifically. So in the top main block settings, you can do the following. You can change the block name. You can change the section. We don't have any sections in this module. What I'll just do is create one or two just so we can show it properly. Processing. I'm going to say admin. So I'll go back to receiving. I'm going to change this to processing. And as you can see, there's a small green pop up in the bottom right. Whenever you see that, it means that whatever you've attempted to do has been successful. You can also change the icon. So the icon is the icon that appears when you're looking at the module. Click the select icon, and you have a big large list of icons. We are looking for ways to improve the search for the icon, but for now, you have to do it through the browser. So the recommended way is to do Control F on your browser, and that will give you something here at the bottom. You'll see whether you're in Chrome, or I think Chrome is top right. This is Firefox, so there's the bottom. And then at least you can start searching for what you might be looking for, like shipping. For instance, I put in shipping there and it found this one. So it's not the most ideal way, and we are looking for a better search sort of solution. but it is a pretty good way for being able to find stuff without having to browse through. So in this case, I'll use the shipping one, even though I'll just see is there another one actually. Palette. Let's just pretend this is, and then you press update icon. We're going to skip SOP. That's quite a legacy feature, and we don't need this anymore. Um, so this will be probably hidden. You might not even see it by the time you're looking at this video. You can also disable a block. So by default, when it's ticked, it's enabled. When it's disabled, really, it just means that when you're back in your module, so I'm in the edit module here, and I can see the block, but if I go to the front end, it's not there. Even though I'm a full admin, I have no restrictions whatsoever. A disabled block won't be visible on the front end, but it will be on this side, the edit side. And then there's a flow chart. So we don't have any fields yet. The flow chart gives you a visibility of what's going on in your block. What we'll do is once we've created a bit of a flow, we will come back to this one. So let's start building our system. So there's one thing I'd like to do is open up, create a new block, which is inbound shipment. Because when we receive stuff, we're going to use shipment numbers that we will generate. Actually, I'll just delete that and I'll actually put it in our processing. So I'll move this to the left so that we can start getting a feel of the order of which we're doing things. So the inbound shipment is going to be, let's just pretend a truck has come in with a bunch of units, and we want to give this a shipment number. So let's take a look here at our auto generate. So we've touched on the auto generate already, and we've touched on a basic text and number increments. There's date and number increments. There's text, date, and number increments. So I'm going to just explore this field just for to show more detail, basically. So the full timestamp would look like this. And what we'll do is we'll open a second block. And I'm going to start duplicating to show you all the different ones. So that's the full timestamp. It's always this format. The time is a simpler one. So it's just the full timestamp without the date. The next one we'll look at is the date. So I won't go through all these formats. What I will do is just pick one or two and just show them. So here's the date in this format. So this is the 18th of the 12th, 2022. And we'll just do one more. And as you can see, 2022, 12/18, that's the format. And the same applies. The only exception I'll show you is this one, single week, because this is a bit different to the rest of them. With this one, it gets the start of the week and the end of the week. So in this case, it's the 12th to the 12th until the 18th to the 12th. Next one is number increments. So you put in the length of the digit. Let's just say it's 4, and the starting number is 001. And what would happen there is that number keeps going up as you submit. So we'll keep moving along. I'll duplicate this one. Next is text and number increments. So it's the same thing, except you can put a piece of text on the start. So let's just say shipment. So shipment 001, shipment 002, and so on and so forth. You can see it incrementing here. So now we'll come back to the next one, date and number increments. So this is basically putting the date in front of the number increments. So as you can see, there's a few formats to pick them from there. And then text, date, and number increments. That's a combination of the text with your number increments and your timestamp format. So with all that, there's actually a custom one that you can do as well. So basically what we're going to do is start fresh with a new one. I'm just going to create a field first. Let's just say text at the start, just so we're not very ambiguous. So custom auto generate. So with this one, you can build your own string effectively. There's a bunch of formats you can use for putting in your date. That's a D tag that opens and closes. So for example, if I put in this one, and this is just one example, if you put that in there, that will give you the date in the day, month, year. Let's just do it and we can start changing it after. So as you can see, 18/12/2022. But let's keep editing this. So you've access to all your date formats in this link here. It's W3 Schools link. When you scroll down, you can see all the letters you apply. So if you put in any of these letters, whether they're uppercase or lowercase, it'll convert that to a date here. So it's possible to put in two of them. So let's just say we want to put in the written day. So I'm going to find, oh yeah, here we are. A full textual representation of the day. So again, the D tag. Let's save that one and have a look. So as you can see, I have a hyphen between it and then it says Sunday. Let's put in the month F. Again, the D tag. And close it again with the forward slash and the brackets. And you can see December. So now when I go to the front end, you can see it generates this information. And the reason there's nothing incrementing is because I don't have anything set to increment. But let's fix that. So now we go down here to the counter. All you have to do is put in this tag counter with opening closing brackets and then your starting number in between. So let's just say, I'm going to clean this up a bit and just say we're going to have the visual text of the representation of the day with the counter 001. Just something to note, the counter has to be at the end of the string. That the counter doesn't work if it's halfway through the string or at the start. It has to be the last thing you put in the string. So as you can see here, Sunday 001, press submit, Sunday 002, Sunday 003. So finally, let's remove the date and we're going to put in the field slugs. So you can actually put data from another field into this auto generate. So I'm going to do text from at the start. It's using that same BW format that we have in other blocks or in other you've seen in other videos and features. So there's nothing in the preview there because we don't have any information. So let's just say text at the start, hello, and that submits it right away. We're just going to have to update our settings so that we can see everything. I'll just put in 8 in case I want to add a few more. So you can see here, hello 003, hello 004. So I'm just going to show you one more thing, and that's the reference. So I'm going to just delete all these just to start clean. So I'm creating a text field called count against this, and then I'm going to create an auto generate field called shipment number. And we're going to stick with the advanced custom. Honestly, these are just shortcuts, and in general, we'd be recommending to always use the advanced custom at this stage. So I'm going to put in a counter. A simple enough one. And then there's a thing called choose another field to use to count against. The idea of this is that you can count basically the increment counts the amount of times this is being put in, and it only increments based on that, so it'll be easier to show you. So the field I had created was count against this. So I'm going to delete all data to really clean things up. So there's an admin feature here called delete all data. You need to put in this text and you need to put in your password. The reason you need to put in that text is just so the person makes sure they know what they're doing. It's quite difficult to do it because obviously it's a pretty serious thing to delete all the data. So normally the auto increment here just keeps going up every time you press submit. However, I've put in the reference counters to say, well, count against these ones. So I'm going to show you test 001. When I pressed return on test 00 on after pressing test, this goes up to 002. But if I do a new value, hello, we're back to 001. When I do hello again, that goes to 002. Now let's put in test again, and that's 003. And hello, that's 003. Let's do hi, and that's 001. So it's counting how many of these have already gone in, and it's only incrementing based on that. So when I have a new value, it starts fresh. But when I go back to test, now we're up to 004. So finally, I'm going to create the actual shipment number. So I'm just going to create two auto-generate fields just for the sake of it. Date and let's build our own format. I'm going to say year, month, day. So I happen to know these quite well, but I know how that's going to come out. This is going to say 2022, 12, 18 in this case for today. And I'll close that. Then I'll put in my counter. So it's going to be a fairly small counter. Just say there's only a few shipments every day. So I'm just going to put in 0, 1. Actually, no, for this one, sorry, we're just going to put in the date on its own. That's the date, and now the increment number. So I'm going to put in the field date. I'm going to put that at the start, and I'll make that 0, 1. And I'm also going to count against the date, just like I showed you. And that's the final output. So as you can see, this is going to go up by 1 every day until tomorrow. And when we come to tomorrow, it'll go back to 0, 1. And that's how we're going to generate our shipment numbers. So the purpose of this video is really just to show you in more detail our auto-generate field. We had covered it before, but we needed to get back to it in more detail. And this will set us up for being able to create shipment numbers. So after this video, I'm going to clean this up a bit, and here is where we basically create the shipment number. Thank you. Bye bye.